Before we submitted our college applications, the popular girl in our class, the billionaire's daughter, suddenly said she could get all of us into Harvard or Yale. My parents donated several buildings to those schools. Getting you all admitted is nothing. Most of my classmates' college entrance exam scores were still a long way from those schools, but they believed her. They gave up submitting their own applications and counted on her to pull strings so they could get into college. In my last life, I realized her promise was unreliable. I immediately urged them not to give up on their applications, to keep a backup plan, and I called their parents one by one. But that infuriated the popular girl. She mocked me for being poor and said I did not understand how the upper class worked. She claimed I had ruined every honest future. My boyfriend also snapped at me for being jealous. You're just jealous that Lizzie's family is rich. You can't stand the thought of all of us going to Harvard or Yale. So what if you have good grades? You could work your whole life and still never catch up to what her family built over 3 generations. For the sake of our 3 years as classmates, I did not argue with them. But before the deadline, when I found out they still had not submitted their applications, I called the police and exposed the popular girl's fake identity. The popular girl was condemned by everyone. In despair, she jumped into a river and killed herself. My classmates all said she deserved it and thanked me for saving their futures. But at our class farewell dinner, my boyfriend poisoned my drink, and the entire class watched coldly as I writhed in pain. At worst, we would have lost our chance at college. Lizzie lost her life. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day the popular girl claimed she could pull strings for us. After the poison killed me in that private dining room, my boyfriend, Ethan Brooks, still was stunned. He searched my body, found my phone, and called my parents. The moment they heard something had happened to me, they rushed to the restaurant without hesitation. When they saw me collapsed on the floor, blood seeping from my eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, they broke down. My mother could barely stand. My father's face went white as he reached for me with trembling hands. Ethan and the others helped them into their seats. Mr. and Mrs. Grant, please try to calm down. The ambulance is already on its way. Drink some water first. My parents had no reason to suspect them. They took the water and drank it. A few seconds later, pain tore through their chests. Then they both coughed up blood. That was when those people finally stopped pretending. Your precious daughter was poisoned by us too. She killed Lizzie, so she deserves to pay for it. You two can go with her. If you want someone to blame Olivia Grant for being so vicious that she dragged you into this. All 3 of us died right there. I found myself floating above the room, helpless, furious, and desperate to drag every one of them down with me. Then, in the next instant, a familiar voice rang in my ears. Wow, Lizzie, was that your family's driver who dropped you off again? That was a Rolls-Royce. I stood in the corner of the classroom, staring at everything in disbelief. Only then did I realize I had been reborn. No, that was my dad, Lisa Hale said with a small smile. Not our driver. The classroom erupted. Oh my god, your dad is so good to you. He's that busy and still drives you to school himself? Lisa smiled and accepted their envy without correcting a word. But I knew she was lying. Every single word. The pain from my last life was still burned into me. I looked at her, and all I felt was hatred. Maybe she sensed it, because Lisa suddenly turned toward Olivia, your grades are amazing. You can probably get into a school like Harvard or Yale without my help, right? I looked away and was about to answer when Ethan cut in. Lizzie, don't waste your time on her. Look at her. Even if she gets in, she won't be able to afford it. She might as well go to some cheap community college. Exactly, someone else said. She probably can't even cover tuition. Even if Lizzie is kind enough to help her get into an Ivy League school, she still won't have the money to live there. Lizzie can't support her forever. At that moment, everyone in class believes Lisa completely. They were convinced she had the connections to get them into elite colleges. I had checked my results the night before. My grades, test scores, and application profile were strong enough that as long as I submitted everything properly, I had a real chance at the schools I wanted. When Lisa heard them, her eyes lit up. Actually, my family donates to scholarship programs all the time. We help students from